Good morning and good afternoon to our merry Marvelites. Welcome to another fun-filled, star-studded edition of Marvel Movie Talk. As always, I am Christian Blatt. There, right next to me, it is the one, the only, the future Barry Allen of America, the one and only Michael X. Shirley. Hello, sir.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Thank you. What a warm welcome.
And of course, next to him is Kid Flash, Jeff Williams Jr.
What up? How's everybody
And
doing?
I don't know if there's a female Flash character, so I don't.
Oh my God!
Jesse Quick.
They're gonna come in on you if you go there.
That's fine. So that's going to be Kate, Kate Quick. So well, and well, I guess you'd have to be
with my squirrel army behind me.
Yes, your squirrel army. And Eric, you'd have to be, I don't know,
He's
Grandpa
reverse
Flash.
Yeah,
Grandpa Flash. Yeah.
I'm old man slow if she's Kid Quick.
Slow.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a jam-packed episode 4 of Moon Knight to talk about, but we also this week we had a teaser trailer for Love and Thunder. And my hot take continues to be going on 3 years now. I hate that title. Excited for the movie. It just sounds stupid. I'm not going to warm up to it. People on Twitter were telling me that I think it'll make sense when you see the movie. I'm like, no, I get it. I already understand what the title means. I just don't think it's a good title. But I've also seen a movie called New Mutants. So obviously titles aren't going to slow me down. But I want to know what everybody thinks of the trailer. And I'd like to start with our version of the Life cereal Mikey because he likes everything. Mikey Shirley, you must love it because you love everything Thor, right?
I don't mind Thor at all.
It's just Loki you can't stand.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
fair. Yeah. That's fair.
I'm actually surprised you don't like this whole Love and Thunder. It's got like this Kiss, like hair metal vibe that I thought you'd be really into, Christian.
No.
No, you don't like anything about it. It's not just the title; it's just nothing.
No, just the title. I like everything about the trailer. I like the idea that they're making the movie. Trailer is very funny. I just hate the title. And to Michael Shirley's point, it does seem like a deleted track from the 1981 Kiss concept album, Music from the Elder, the album that even they pretend that they didn't make, where they tried to do a Dark Side of the Moon. So yeah, Love and Thunder definitely seems like it would slot in somewhere between Just a Boy and Dark Light. Don't start talking about Kiss if you don't want me to do a deep dive, Michael.
Well, also the way it's stylized, it looks like it's supposed to have this kind of cheesy, like kind of feel going into the movie. I will say that when I finished that trailer, I think I said out loud that wasn't what I expected. That was definitely not what I expected at all. I've seen like the internet's really upset about it. Everyone's calling Thor gay. I think it's like kind of funny and sad, but it's like this guy, he's a god. He's had a long life. He wants to go out and find himself. Let him do it. I wasn't under the impression that he was the star of this movie, actually, and it's kind of making him seem like he is. I was thinking Natalie Portman would probably be like 2/3 and he would be more like 1/3, but it's we're getting a full-on.
By the way, this is like a 90-second trailer, so it could still be structured exactly like that.
Yeah.
It could be, I mean, he could be in the first 20 minutes. You know, I don't think that's the case. I'm just saying that we don't really know. And touching on what you said, Michael, I know that Eric provided us with some artwork that he wanted to share.
No.
So we'll just go ahead and share that with everybody.
That's my Thor. Right there.
What's going on here?
Yeah. Well, we don't really. So do you want to explain this, Eric? Thor Play, I guess this would be a magazine that is mailed in a brown wrapper so as to not alert the neighbors.
You know, I've been watching Minx, and I don't know, maybe inspired me. But actually, I made this during I think it was What If. Remember that Coulson had a total thing for him, and I don't know I don't know how it got from there to here. except maybe it
He
speaks to
found his
my own
humor.
Yes, he
desires.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thor play, by the way, I think is a term that I've tried to use in the bedroom, but suffice it to say, the shield stayed up.
Yeah.
Not the
I mean, you
Ant-Man
could pull it
growing
off.
part.
No, you come in there talking about being the god of thunder, and then
Nah.
it's a little bit more like Frog Thor, from what I understand. That's just rumor and innuendo around Burbank. That's all I know. I'm not actually.
It's a half truth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, look, I think that I think that this fourth movie is definitely the goodbye to Chris Hemsworth, as least on a regular basis. You know, in like 10 more movies, they might have him be, Grandpa Thor or something. But I don't think we're gonna really see him again. And it's like, well, you're gonna pass the mantle to somebody who is well, at least an Academy Award nominated actress. I don't remember if she won, but
She won.
somebody of that caliber. What did she win for Black Swan, right? Yeah.
I actually don't think that we're gonna get a lot more of the world of Thor. I think they're doing the exploration of the gods and that whole world, and I think they're kind of putting this to bed, because we've got, in terms of God world, we've got Eternals, and now we've got the Egyptian gods with Moon Knight. So I think they're trying to like close this chapter to know, like, this is going to go on and continue. Nothing's really going to change here, but here's where the change is happening, and this is what we're going to focus on. So I actually think this is like a closing of this whole universe, this whole side of the universe.
I hope so, because the split that Michael Shirley was talking about with Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth, if he's only in there 35% of the movie, I'm probably gonna leave at 40% of the movie, because I'm not like, she looked cool in that scene and like dope. She could be part of the fight, but I do not want to see, this is me, I don't want to see Lady Thor or whatever, Mighty Thor, whatever her name is, leading the whole movie, just because like we haven't even seen her for a while. I'm not here for it.
Well, they were on a break, Friends style.
We were on a break.
They were definitely on a break. Look, I think that I understand where Jeff's coming from, and I think that the way in which you said it is just your honest personal reaction. I think that the way that a lot of other people are reacting to with some of those same feelings, it's just like, oh, what? You don't want a girl coming in and ruin your movie? No, I understand if you sit down for a Thor movie, you want to
Valkyrie is already in it.
Yeah,
right,
badass.
exactly.
So that's not what we're saying at all.
At all.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's like, I mean,
I would take a Valkyrie leading New Asgard movie.
That's what I was sort of going to get at.
At
It's
least
like,
'cause
how
she's-
could she
she's
possibly be
established.
better? Yeah, but how could she possibly be better than Valkyrie? You know,
That's what I'm saying.
No.
that's what I'm saying.
Although I'm liking,
No.
I'm liking corporate
No, I'm
Valkyrie
saying
that they
I don't
showed.
want a Valkyrie movie.
Oh, all right.
No.
So,
Well, it's better than a Mighty Thor movie, in my opinion.
look, I used them as a punchline earlier, but I was tweeting earlier in the week of how much I legitimately want a Frog Thor movie, and I don't care who the Thor is, as long as that Thor gets turned into a frog for 20 minutes in a movie. That's really all I've wanted, apparently, since like 1985 when we first had Frog Thor. What are your thoughts, Eric, as you watch the teaser trailer? So let's not call it a trailer.
Yeah, which
Teaser.
in and of itself is funny, because I don't know, still for me, teaser is like a half minute, and this was a minute and a half, and I feel like I'm echoing Jeff and Squirrel Kate here. Like I think in the end of it all, it's getting familiar now, and I think that's when it's like you could see why it's necessary to bring in new blood and new characters and new places and new corners of the Marvel Galaxy, because this one, it was a good trailer. I'm going to be there as soon as I possibly can see it. I will see it. I'm sure I'll really enjoy it. But I think...
All right, Eric, I'll use you as my +1 for the press screening. I see what you're getting at. You'll be there as soon as you can see it. All right, I get it. Come on with
Christian,
me.
I'll work out so that my body looks more like Thor play, instead of the other Thor I sent you.
All right.
But
With that being said,
now he's calling for his graphics. I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Jeff?
Cue line. Go ahead, Jeff.
neither of you guys can text me from whatever day you guys go see it till I go see it on Thursday because Disney has still not emailed me back. I'm just throwing this out there.
Yeah.
God.
So,
I guess you have to just stop using the big name that should get you a screening and be like, I do a show called Jeff's Comic Talk, and then they'll be like, right this way, sir. Just like you're coming in too big, because like you should be there before I'm there. So anyway,
they keep sending me to different people, and everybody it's just frustrating.
Oh,
and
the way you're talking about it now, I'm sure they're so excited to send you a guest pass.
They should be. They should prove me wrong.
Now Jeff is doing what I did in dating, and it was very effective.
Are we,
is, constantly reminding someone they're not dating me, and usually that worked. Eventually.
Is this picture supposed to be here?
Yes,
that's Eric.
Okay.
Michael's compliments come fast and furious. Yes, this was me as I was very excited when Thor finally, like everyone wants to be able to see themselves on that big screen. And it took a bunch of movies, but finally I saw myself on the big screen when I saw Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, and for me, it was when I sat down to see The Birdcage. I was so glad to finally see myself in a movie. But back to your thoughts on the trailer.
Hank Azaria?
I wish.
I
wish Hank Azaria.
I wear shoes, I fall down.
All right. So...
I think you just killed Michael Shirley.
I think I did. Yeah.
I've never thought of that.
I think about it every day.
Yeah, why? You think about it every day?
Monster. I just see Eddie Munster grown up.
That's just my handsome widow's peak is the only thing
when
I
I
have.
met
Yeah, that's the only Butch Patrick that I have. I am not as good looking as Butch.
Remember this?
Christian,
we've got to recreate this photo one day.
That's like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
I will be your werewolf any day. But yeah,
oh my God.
All right. So this episode is sponsored by Grindr, like just full out, obviously. All right.
And Manscaper.
Yeah. Oh well,
nice.
I've actually worked on shows that are sponsored by Manscaped. So.
Really? What shows?
All right, that's enough.
I was about to say I was about to jump on the Grindr one, but I
it's probably better not to. Remember how before we started I was like, I don't want to get derailed by talking about nonsense.
Manscaping.
No, that's going to be our first show after Moon Knight ends. We're going to do a whole show on who are the best manscaped male Marvel superheroes. And I'm sorry, but the obvious answer is probably going to be North Star. But we can go from there because there are definitely going to be plenty of others. I mean, I've never seen a hair out of place on Scott Summers, but
the last thing I want to say about the Thor trailer is like after Endgame, like. I'm like, I think they said it, and I was like wondering, I'm like, why are we getting a fourth one? Because like I was curious, like why Thor wasn't part of Guardians, because that would have been really cool. Like why Thor wasn't included in the Guardians movie, that they were doing a whole separate movie. Because I'm like, what else does Thor have to learn? And I guess like they said it in the trailer of like I have to learn to be myself, as opposed to be what everyone expects of me. And I'm like, given his track and given the track of the films, even the second one, we do talk about it. It's fine. It's okay, guys. Loki was great in that. I think it's gonna be a nice like kind of like bow of like how do you do what people expect of you? How do you become who you are? How do you exceed the power that you think you have? And then how do you use that power to do the best version of you? So I think that's a really nice track that the movies are going on. So it's a good send off for all of these characters.
Eric, before I derailed us 3 minutes ago, and by that I mean 8 minutes ago, were you trying to say that you're not that excited for the movie? Was that what you were getting at?
No.
And that I should use my +1 on someone else?
No. First of all, I will be there in a heartbeat, but I feel like I'll be there, manscaped, grinded or not, whatever version of me you want. But in the end of it all, I think I do think it's time. And Kate, you're hitting a really good point of like. I don't know, has his soul searching. I feel like that is something he's done in every film in some capacity, especially that first one. And so
he's deep.
So he's more than skin deep. So in the end of it all, I think it is time. It is time. If the hammer goes to Valkyrie, I agree. I'd be incredibly happy with that. And one thing I said before is I love seeing Valkyrie and it almost look like business Valkyrie.
Oh my god.
Which I'm
City
please,
Councilman Valkyrie's the best.
Yes. And she looks so unhappy in that like suit and like barely holding on to her desire not to have a drink during that meeting. I think she deserves. I mean, that could be a series right there as her.
And I also should reveal
that
I worked on the additional photography for this movie.
For
so
Thor,
when it comes out, I can talk about it, but until it happens, I can't talk about it.
Kate has many secrets.
I did work on additional photography for this movie.
Kate is got. You know what? I noticed you had your lips zipped extra tight when I mentioned Frog Thor. So thank you for confirming or not confirming. No, but there are other people who can hold that hammer. I mean, where is Beta Ray Bill, for God's sake? I mean, there's a lot that we can see. I wanted to move on to something else about this, but Jeff, I felt like you were about to jump in, and I basically knocked you down so that I could try and make a joke.
No worries. I think we're gonna get what is his name? The tree, and I could
Groot.
Groot. I think we're gonna get the Groot Thor. Just throwing it out there. I don't know the real name for it because you remember when he plants the hammer. Just throwing it out there. There's rumors that there might be one of those.
Okay.
And then also, I'm nervous about Gore, the God Butcher, and Christian Bale. And I've seen photos, and I've seen toys, and I've seen the comic, and they're not the same. And I'm nervous.
Yeah,
just not out there.
No, and look, I think as we get closer to that movie, we'll see more, and we'll know what we should be nervous about. But something that we don't see, and a lot of people, I'm just sharing the quickest one I could find. People were pointing out that this is clearly one of those shots that ends up in a trailer, and someone is clearly taken out. Like there's this big empty space next to Thor there in the middle.
What?
And that's somebody that they're not ready to tell us is in the movie.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
The framing on this.
You can see that framing, and it's blurry in a spot where there is probably someone standing next to them. That and it could be it could be like Hulk. It could be like Hulk. It could be like anything. It could just be somebody looks different.
I thought you meant someone was dead when you said taken out. No. I live in Memphis. Sorry.
Well,
taken out means something different.
Well, look, apparently, because in Burbank it means that you show up in a nice stretch limousine and you bring someone to Don Cuco's for happy hour.
I mean, they did that with the Spider-Man trailer.
Yeah, and in Endgame as well.
They took out the two other Spider-Mans during that.
So my question to everybody except Michael, who's clearly got murder on the brain. No, but all of you, who would we like to be missing from this shot? That is somebody like, I really would like to see more of. I mean, really, it could be anybody. It could be Giant Man, but boy, he wouldn't fit in that frame. I'll ask you first, Jeff, because I feel like I went to you last on the last one. So
okay. I want to say it's like I think Valkyrie's gonna fight with them. So I want to say it's like Valkyrie in an actual suit that we haven't seen, or something to that sort. I don't see it being like some totally new character.
Well, Cammy Egan thinks it's Beta Ray Bill, and I'm all in for that. If Cammy Egan and Ghost 8386, here's a good one. It would make sense. Hercules, was Kevin Sorbo spotted on set? No, but actually the Marvel character Hercules, of course, who is an Avenger for...
Hercules is about to get... Like, that whole place is about to explode. We're probably going to see that for all of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Game of Thrones?
Confirmed characters. I don't know which one it is. But
I see.
I think it's one of the confirmed
Kate knows the answer.
I do know the answer.
Yeah.
Kate knows
Kate's like, well, if I could only tell you the 6 people that I saw on set.
Who's the confirmed characters, Kate?
Wait a minute. Look, where are they confirmed? That's
on IMDb, bro.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Jeff, you remember on this very show when something was seemed to be common knowledge that you and I didn't happen to know. So, just because it's confirmed characters, do your own research, buddy.
We'll wait. Go ahead, Jeff. We'll just wait. Go.
I'm already looking. I'm looking.
Yeah, and he's going to have this look on his face, and he's going to be like, oh, my God, it's the bank manager.
I mean, but there's like 27
Oh,
people
you
listed
took my line.
on there. So
Is that
like,
who?
it could
Oh, I'm
literally-
sorry. Were you actually gonna, Eric? Were you really gonna
No.
say it was the
No,
bank
no, I
manager?
wasn't.
Oh,
No, I
could be
wasn't because
Lady
I didn't
Sif.
want to anger Michael this early in the day.
by bringing
It's
up
probably
the bank
ladies.
manager. Look,
Yeah.
Michael watched Batman yesterday, so obviously there's no possibility of making him angry.
God.
I saw your Instagram stories, so I know that you did not enjoy the experience. So yeah.
No.
But I don't know. Well, so then, Kate, I think I can't ask you who you think it is because you're like, I already.
I just
know.
don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
want to
Lady
make
Sif.
it because the character was revealed in the trailer, but I just want to be careful.
That's fine. No, I appreciate
Wait.
that.
Ooh. She's
Wait,
talking
if
in
you said
riddles.
it-
She talks in rhymes.
Yeah,
Time out. If you said she was revealed in the trailer and you know who it is, then it's Jane Foster.
It could be Jane Foster. Yeah, I mean, we
To
know
me,
Jane
it looks
Foster's
like
in
they're
there.
leaving him on a planet to do his own thing. So it's like, who
yeah.
would stay on a
Look.
planet with him?
I'm not.
I
Gonna
would
Wow.
think it'd be like Mantis
Dang
or
it.
something. Maybe.
I love that idea of like who would stay on a planet with Thor.
Yeah, who would pop? Yeah. By the way, Mantis would absolutely be like, okay, I guess if I need to.
Yeah.
You know, if I have to like hang out with Thor. Yeah, well, maybe he just wants to do his own thing and finally start the Thorcast, the podcast that he's always wanted to do, where he just talks about, pop culture and movies. I don't blame him. Look, there's a lot of and Cami Egan apparently loves her some Michael Shirley. Michael's IG of Buttman was funny because you said that movie might as well be called Buttman. In any case,
And honestly, it's Squirrel Girl. I'm just gonna reveal it right here. Squirrel Girl is in that frame.
well,
Yes.
yeah, as which is a great time for a segue. I mean, we
It's
spent
Matt
20 minutes
Damon.
on it, sort of. Yeah, I know. Cam Egan said that
Sorry.
it's Matt Damon with Thor. Which, by the way,
Dead.
how great would that
Dead.
be?
Oh my God!
I hope it would
any
be-
character deserves a second round. It's
Yeah,
that.
it would
With
be
like
Matt.
the chorus of
It would be Matt Damon as Will Hunting. So I think that they would figure out the rights there. So Kate, you mentioned Squirrel Girl, and I know that that's a favorite of yours.
I've mentioned it since the beginning.
So
Yes.
weird.
And
she's
we're
in the Squirrel
getting,
Girl?
and we are indeed getting.
Tammy, we did it.
Yeah, Cami Egan and you both actually made it happen.
We did.
Yeah, exactly. And Michael, I'm sorry, I don't want to give credit to the. We have so many talented artists on this show. I almost that was almost stolen valor there. My apologies.
Oh, God.
But Eric did some work here. So
I want that forever.
well, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's.
I can touch it up too. But,
that
you
should
know,
be-
at
that
late
should be
night,
fr- Yeah, that should be framed and hung in whatever the living room is of
I
your
should
new
get.
your
I'll take a
newfound
picture.
apartment.
I'll
Kate.
take a picture of her facial expression in that slide, and you
She's
can
like
Oh,
slide it
blood
in.
all over her face.
I
Yeah,
know.
Well,
She's-
no,
'cause
you
she's
don't
been
know what's
eating-
in that cake.
Mine enemies.
I was gonna say she's been eating squirrels all afternoon because that's why she's a squirrel girl because they're so delicious.
Wait, and also, I named this in your honor, Kate, Squirrelable.
Yes.
A new word I want you to use at least once a day.
I will.
So
On this podcast.
there is it can be found on SiriusXM and I guess also on Apple
Which I
Podcasts.
do not have.
And on
Oh.
Only Squirrels.
Oh, I heard it. I listened to it.
Only squirrels. Yeah. The first one was like 2 minutes, so I was like, wait, what is this? And then I realized that it was like that was essentially like a teaser. That first one. It was not the actual. It was not the actual show, and I forget. So did you? So you listened to the full episode as well, though, is what
I
you're
did.
saying, right? So it's Marvel's Squirrel Girl, the unbeatable radio show. And it's like basically she's doing like a college call-in radio show, and it has appearances from Tony Stark sound-alikes, but it's supposed to actually be Tony Stark. But I'm pointing out it's not Robert Downey Jr.
It's not the real Tony
There-
Stark.
Yeah, right. There's no jokes. Yeah, there's like jokes about Deadpool, so it's like there's a lot of stuff happening. And I don't know. It seemed fun. It's a scripted podcast. I think I was expecting it to be more like what was the Wolverine one called, the Long Night or whatever. I thought it was going to be something like that, but instead it was just like Squirrel Girl's having a party. You're all invited. Come listen to a radio show. It seemed like people were having fun. What did you think, Eric?
They seemed like they were having fun.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going.
I don't know. I mean, like her voice is great. Vanya Rub. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she's great. I mean, like she sounds how you would imagine. I know she's played this character before too in animation. I like the concept. I just don't love the execution. And I feel bad because I want Kate to kind of enjoy this pure. Like I feel like Kate has deserved this. Like when I saw it was happening, I got incredibly excited, not for the universe, but just for the Kate part of the universe, because it feels like, it is kind of a fun attempt, but it also, I think, showed me what MODOK really pulled off. Yeah. That is so hard to pull off. And that is being ironic. Like it's hard to do that and really land with it. And I thought, this didn't quite land with it.
Also, I think that especially with female characters, especially after Me Too Time's Up, I think female characters. Oh my God, that echo is me. Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening.
I'm not hearing it.
Actually. I hear it now.
Yeah, I actually don't hear it. So it's interesting that you and Michael seem to be.
Me and Michael are attuned.
Clearly, you guys are on the exact same wavelength.
God help you.
It's called the Miller. Now I just totally lost my train of thought.
You talked about female characters.
That it's hard to make female characters ironic. I think people are scared to do that, except for Taika, because he's willing to make Valkyrie a little sarcastic. I don't know how this new Thor is going to be, but I think there's a hesitancy to do that type of MODOK type of irony with female characters. And also, here's my question: and thank you, Cammie, for saying it was on Apple. I will definitely listen now. I wonder what the audience is. Is it for me or is it for kids? Because it's hard to do it if it's for kids.
It's probably it's
not for kids.
It's not for Eric and I. It's probably more for you. I think if you're coming into it and you like anything that you've seen Squirrel Girl before, whether it's animation, whether you've read it, it's probably like, okay, yeah, just sort of it builds onto that. It's not like, oh, I've heard of Squirrel Girl, let me learn about her. It's like you definitely need like you need like a pop-up video version of explaining like here's who she is, or at least a recap from like an artificial intelligence Stanley or something. But yeah, I think I think it's great that they're doing stuff like this with characters. I mean, they were supposed to be a Squirrel Girl show like years ago. I mean, when Michael and I did the first ever Marvel TV Weekly, we talked about like all the shows that were supposed to happen, and it was going to be part of a New Warriors show. And I was for like ABC Family or something. I didn't even know what it was for. Yeah, before that even turned into Freeform.
Oh my gosh, the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. And Daniel Drew is giving a primer here for anybody that wants to know more. Her general powers are superhuman agility, senses and strength, prehensile tail, which is of course very useful, razor sharp claws, retractable knuckle spikes, the ability to communicate with squirrels, and her wit that she brings to the podcast. Well, it'll be interesting. Sure. And Kate, it'll be interesting to see if you check it out and you have a sense for what they're going for. I mean, it's in a very narrow concept. It's not like an old time radio play like the Wolverine one, where it's like, a lot of the stuff that it's kind of what I expected when I heard it was going to be a scripted podcast. So, but I think that it's great that Marvel's doing all this stuff. And hopefully it all finds an audience. But yeah, if it had only been on Sirius XM, I think Sirius XM Pandora, I believe, is the full name of that company now. But it doesn't fit on all the walls. So in any case, we can certainly.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, now we don't hear you anymore, Kate. So whatever you did,
but the echo.
The
echo's gone.
Yeah, the echo's gone. It's fine.
Yeah.
How's that?
I mean, it's always sounded fine to me. So people in the chat, you let us know if you hear the echoey version of Kate. But that would just indicate that what you have to say
No, chat, don't do that.
No, it would tell us that what you have to say is twice as important as what the rest of us have to say. That's why you'd be echoing, because it's like, no, let me hear it again. Then you would understand it. All right, let's talk about The Tomb, Moon Knight episode 4, which I think is interesting in a sense that it's clearly setting us up for because until like the last, I don't know, like less than 10 minutes, I felt like, well, we could probably wrap this up pretty soon. And then they went down a whole different side avenue. And I'm like, okay, well, now they're setting up these next 2 episodes. And in general, I found the early part of the episode to be interesting, but a little hard to follow. Michael, it brought back some of the lighting of the Demon Bear sequence in New Mutants, and I was wondering if perhaps director of photography had been on loan from that episode of Game of Thrones that no one could see. I actually had to move the angle I was watching my TV at, because I was like, the light was hitting it and I actually couldn't tell what was going on. Once I looked at it straight on, I guess maybe that's on me, because that's what they said after that Game of Thrones episode. It was like, well, everybody's TV is set the wrong way, so they should lighten it. All right, great. So let me do the homework. So instead of folding my laundry on the couch, I had to like sit in front of it and watch it. And then I was able to see what was happening. I think
laundry.
Humble brag.
I would love to.
Somebody's got to. That's all I'm saying.
I can imagine you just sitting there folding laundry, watching Marvel.
Yep. And I fold it much more angrily when I'm watching Star Trek Picard. But that's tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific when Nikki Bailey and I'll, unfortunately, it's like doing jury duty having to do that show. It's like we're obligated to finish it out. But in any case, Kate, your thoughts on episode 4 of Moon Knight, The Tomb?
It was my favorite.
Okay.
I dug the crap out of it. I thought it was so cool. I thought the fact that, like, because we ended last episode going, oh shit, he doesn't have the suit.
Yeah.
And so we go into this knowing he cannot access his powers. So the tension is automatically heightened. I'm taking this, Connor, please help me, as from a screenwriting perspective. From the pure, how do you build tension in an episode? And the fact that they go into the town, the little like encampment, and there's no one. And then they start going into the tomb, Indiana Jones style, and there's no one. It's like, they're going into the haunted house with all the evil people. And then you're like, who's around the corner? So it automatically sets up this like weird horror movie. And ends in the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. And I just couldn't, I was just like, by the end of the episode, I was just like, I don't know where I am. I felt like Mark Spector.
Eric, well, what did you think about sort of the way that they built that and, leaving a lot of the mystery of like, boy, there sure is a lot of blood around here. Keep walking.
Well, and also, by the way, the term, there's lots of meaty bits, which is another one of my many aliases, meaty bits.
Meaty bits, yeah.
But yeah, I thought the horror of it was really on point. And it's funny that, Christian, you brought up the screen being so dark, because when it's late at night, it's like I'm watching this like on my iPad while I'm at my computer. And I was like, is it my iPad like running out? Like I brightened it on it. So I appreciate that it's not just my eyes are aging, but rather, why the F can't they just light some of these things? Like capturing darkness doesn't mean being unseeable. Like it's a trend in cinematography that I just don't get. I think who was it who did The Godfather, who really shifted us over to
Gordon
like using
Willis.
Gordon Willis, who like shifted us over into like using shadow more and using darkness more. Like he would be very unhappy with them. But that all being said, I thought the horror bona fides were great. I love the sound design of it. Actually, that's something I like rewatched the scene with the headphones in just to like hear the clicking sound.
The clicking.
Holy shit! Especially at 1 a.m. That clicking sound totally effed me up.
Dude,
but I agree. I thought there was something kind of cool about and it's funny, both y'all hit so much of what I was gonna say. Like, it kind of felt like, oh, I guess we're wrapping it up. I mean, once they get to the tomb, I mean, they unleash hell, and I guess that's the finale. But that was a heck of a curveball. You know, I think it maybe took a little bit too much time to get ramped up in the episode. Once they got in, they really got into the horror elements, though. I was definitely hooked in. That last piece of it, I didn't watch that much of Legion, but it felt like, I think I've been here before.
I was texting with someone earlier
The one
today,
flew over the
and
cuckoo's nest part.
yeah, but it distinctively felt like Legion because of it just sort of looked a lot like it, and had a lot of the same vibe. Yeah, that was definitely what I thought about that. And I don't know how much. I think I got to see how it plays out. But I did not. The moment after Steven / Mark gets shot, the rest of it, I don't enjoy people like talking in their own heads, and I feel like none of that really happened. It's just not for me.
I don't think it was his head.
Well, whatever.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about when he's talking to his other self, and
I know what it is.
Yeah, but what were you gonna say, Jeff?
Well, I'll start with what I think it is, because I watched like a review right after, because I was kind of confused at like what I was watching. But like from what I gathered, it was like the an astral plane area, like pretty much right before you die. And he was meeting his other personalities for the first time. The person that we didn't see was Jake. And then this moose-looking lady is like a god of like birth, and also the last person.
It's
the last
Tolerant.
person. So like the last person you see before you die and stuff. So like that's where we're supposed to be at, in like the little middle ground. There's so many different versions for whatever. Like Black Panther has a version, whatever it is. It's like the middle ground before you die. So that's what I was told for that. It makes sense, because like how could everything we saw before that be fake? I feel like this is the part that we're seeing is fake. But this episode, what? Like the void. I think that's like fake or in his head or whatever. But either way, this I'm not with you guys on this episode. This was not it for me at all. I was watching it, and there was a couple times like, okay, we're still doing this like Tomb Raider stuff. Like we're still just talking. And then it also frustrated me. It was giving me a little bit of Venom 2, where Steven and Mark were arguing and not like working together. And I'm like, dog, we're in 4 episodes. And like, Steven, you're not like capable of fighting, and you're not capable of doing a lot of stuff. Why the hell are you just like up now? Like, you know what? I'm not going to let you do this, Mark. I'm going to just let you sit there and look at a mirror. There's a mirror right there. That's why I pointed. But like, it was just like, it was frustrating. It was just frustrating to watch, and I'm like, okay, so we're not learning.
Not as frustrating as Layla going like, "Let's not escape, so I can question you about my dad."
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that was the one that was frustrating.
Let me walk away.
I was like, "Yo, you just got attacked by like an Egyptian demon. Maybe get out of there."
Yeah,
but I'm like, Ethan Hawke, shut up! I don't care. Like,
yeah, exactly. You literally should have been devoured or had your face ripped off, but instead, no. I think it's time for us to talk about our feelings. This is really the time for that. Let's go ahead. Jeff, as you were talking, I was thinking about how it must be such a gift to you to have had Venom 2 in your life, because now that you can always point to when you think something is really bad. So like, if Jeff ever goes out with a, if I know he's out with a lady friend the night before, I'll be like, oh, so Jeff, how was that date? And he was like, well, it was kind of like Venom 2. I don't need to ask any other questions.
It's also his safe word now.
It really is.
I wanted to ask Michael what you thought, because Jeff feels like you were of a similar mindset as him.
Yes. I when I was sitting there the whole time saying, hell no. Oh, hell no. No. Like, everything that happened in that episode, I was like, no. All right, 1, I want to go on in there. 2, I want to put my arm in that guy's mouth and like
that was actually cool. That was
cool though.
I like that part. That was like
we've all done that.
I
all
wouldn't
of that
have
was
messed with
accurate
that
to the best.
demon like Pharaoh thing. I would not have crossed them rocks. I would not have like fought with that thing on the rocks. Like, no way. Nope. And then the hippo at the end, I was like, nope, no, no, no.
I'm glad you brought it back to the hippo, Michael, because I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, is the New Zoo Review canon here in the Moon Knight universe? Because I was thinking, I'm like, where have I seen that character before? And look, I don't know if Freddy the Frog and the Owl will show up in subsequent episodes, but and again, sometimes my references are really just for a certain age, and usually I'm only thinking that I might make Eric laugh. But it is what I thought of was the giant hippo. Also reminiscent of just the horrifying Peter Jackson movie Meet the Feebles, if anybody's ever seen that.
I remember that one.
Oh, yeah. That's a rough one.
but we got Lord of the Rings out of it, so
that's a great point. What were you going to say, Michael?
I got HR Pup and stuff vibes.
Well, yeah, but that.
No,
but here's what I love about Cami Egan. Oh my God, it's Henrietta Hippo. Yes, her name is indeed Henrietta. And that's really that's why we love we love Cami Egan for a million reasons, but the fact that you knew who that was that I brought up there.
I will say though that now that we've gotten into this like cuckoo like asylum mental whatever place they're in, like I'm here for that. I love loony bin stuff. Like that stuff's great. I also really appreciated that they brought up this whole like treasure hunt video, whatever.
I did like that. Yeah,
that was the greatest.
With short round,
with the aspect ratio shifting.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why, like, when it got dark and then it came up, and I'm like, wait, the aspect ratio just totally shifted on me.
Yep,
I feel like they heard me, last week, and they knew that like I was not here for this like Tomb Raider crap that they're doing, and that kind of like I felt like okay, they're actually have a bigger plan than all this like Indiana Jones crap, which I thought was nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was feeling a little Legion at the end, like Eric said. I don't know how many weird British accents we need coming out of Stephen, Mark, especially the old lady. The old. Mm-hmm. I don't know what her power.
Donna.
Is. No, the lady they were given pills.
Donna.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that her name?
Yes, she's from the hospital.
Okay.
No, from the museum. It's all people that were in his life. So the guy who was calling the bingo numbers was the guy in the gold.
I didn't put that together.
Donna was the woman who fired him, and then Gus the Goldfish comes back.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that those were other personalities in his head. I was like, oh, great. We've got.
No, they're all the people that he's already interacted with in the show. The two henchmen who were helping Dr. Caligari, Ethan Hawke. Were the ones that were first chasing him. Yeah.
So do we think it's all a dream?
No, I think it's in the 2016 Moon Knight comic. I did research. They did go to an asylum, and it was in the comic.
Is that the same thing that you just sent me, Jeff?
I'm pretty sure it is.
It was like another dimension or something.
No, it was
talking about. The one we're talking about, I guess, is called Lunatic. That's what Jeff sent me, right?
It came out in 2016. I don't know if you saw.
So it might be but it's clearly that it is clearly a source material. It might be something different than what you're talking about, Kate. And that was why I interrupted. I thought it was the same thing. But so what were you saying, Kate?
No, I think it is similar, but also I think it's not in his head. I think he's placed somewhere.
Yeah, in which was
because he died holding Amit's statue or having Amit's statue with him,
and that was the limbo sort of location that was referenced in an earlier episode. That's probably what this is, and I for the life of me can't remember what it's called. Sorry, but I remembered Layla's name this week, so at least I'm starting to remember something. Yeah.
So Layla and Steven kiss. How do we feel about that? Because I thought the whole scene was awkward.
Love.
It's the same person.
Love.
But like literally they were like she was like, let me kiss you, and then he was like, I'm not going to, and then like he said it, and then like it was weird.
I'm team Mark here. I'm glad he punched him in the face.
No, I'm team Steven. Because Steven in the streets. Mark in the
sheets.
Yeah.
I'm mad at it. I
got Steven to read me French poetry, to do all the nerdy stuff with me, to be sensitive and like vulnerable, and then like Mama's gotta go.
But then twice a year on a special night is when you want Jack to take over. You know, you say that for a special. That's for like your birthday.
I'm more Khonshu in the sheets, actually. I'd like to think.
Oh,
you're just bony
and dead for 6,000 years.
A little dusty. It's okay. There's no neck.
Everything.
I can relate to the no neck.
Oh boy.
It's weird that like I was thinking about this, talking about last week's episode to my roommates, and it was like the first 2 episodes I was like, we need Mark. And then when Mark was on screen, I'm like, we need Steven. Like, bring it back to Steven. It's like, it's weird like how Steven is becoming more like important and more like fun to watch.
Well, they're in tunes. So like whatever.
Thank you, Daniel, for always. Daniel is always like the angel. He's the angel on my shoulder, reminding me of things that I just can't say. Never the devil on my shoulder. We'll backtrack a second because I agree. I've forgotten about this. Cam Egan's the only part of the show I thought was unbelievable and kind of dumb was when the truck was shooting at Layla, caught up to her, and didn't think to look in the van. Yeah, I mean, like, oh look, there was somebody running around here. Let's look outside the van. But whatever you do not look inside the van.
But boss, I think she went in the van.
No, stop it! I said do not look. I said don't
boss,
look.
The door's open. The footprints.
No, we're not looking in the van.
The car.
Stop it!
It would have made more sense if they got distracted by the body.
100%.
Also,
it would have made more sense if they were so focused on the body it allowed Layla to get into the truck. For me, and Eric, I don't know if you agree, as like using that body as a distraction.
Oh, sure. I mean,
because you do a whole turnaround and then you notice the body, and I'm like, wait a minute, that could have been your distraction the entire time. But my friends directed this episode, so maybe I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll ask them.
But like to that same point. To that same point, even though we love this episode, when they were like going through the encampment, the campsite, and like they're like, you know what we should do? Split up. That's where you lost me. That's where you lost me. Everybody was like, oh yeah, that's horrible. Though. No, you don't split up.
No, but when it was like there was something up above and on the rafters kind of area there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we should look up there. And she's like, oh yeah, you go. He's like,
yeah,
okay.
I actually did like that moment. I did like that moment where she's like, yeah, you go. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm like in love with the wife of my other personality. And yeah, even though I'm a huge coward, I'm going to go up there anyway. So good for Steven. I've definitely liked Steven a lot more in the last couple episodes, you know,
his defense of saying I can handle this, but it's muscle memory, which I thought was really,
I hope that they take a page out of Hawkeye, and then the end credit scene after the last episode is at least 20 minutes of whatever the Tomb Raider movie is. I want as much as they can give me of that. I would like to see more of it. And as Kate pointed out in the letterboxed, that's not letterboxed, but the old aspect ratio of a square TV.
4:3, baby.
Yeah, 4:3. Craig Robinson, when squinting through the darkness, Layla looked like she was doing a Dr. Grant waving the T-Rex away with her flare. That was a good usage of the flare and the
that was also
eye.
The only weapon that was used.
It
was the only weapon that Layla used. It was the flare because she used it in the beginning and she used it against the Heka, I think is what it's called. A flare is the only weapon that Layla and
I know.
Heka. I love it. We're just gonna let that hang.
No.
And here we go.
He's in timeout. He's in timeout. All right.
My guy goes.
Yeah, I know.
But the Ethan Hawke people use the guns and she uses the light.
Yeah,
so in an episode that is so dark that the flare is actually even more important of a weapon that's used, and its illumination and how they get through it is knowing so much about how to get through the tomb. Like the 6 points, even though it sounded hokey, it's actually true. So it's all mathematical ratio, and it's also the 6 senses for the Eye of Horus. It sounds hokey, but that's what it means. And then depending on which way the eye is flipped is the masculine or feminine.
Well, if if it sounds hokey, then I guess that's what it's all about. Kama Egan, Michael's being unusually quiet today. Michael, do you have
don't wake
some kind of post-traumatic stress from watching Matt Reeves' Batman on HBO Max yesterday?
I think that might be what it is.
I had a feeling that might be what it was.
Deep down, he just wants to be the Riddler. That's what the green is coming from.
Yes.
What a terrible portrayal.
Cosplay. Cosplay.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I would, either that or I'd like to see Michael as Barry Kogan's Joker-like character that may or may not be the Joker, but everybody thinks is the Joker.
Listen, he's booked
I've
up
been
in
the Joker for
Miller.
Halloween.
I hope Cesar Romero Joker.
Oh, this was in college, so this was like early on.
Or Jack Nicholson. Which Joker are we? And there has to be
only
a photo.
for you.
There is a photo. There is a photo.
There has to be a photo. I would like you to bring it next week. If you can't find it, whenever you can find it, please bring it to us. So
it's pretty Dark Knight.
And I want to. Is it just that you didn't really enjoy this episode, Michael, and you thought about yourself in the situation that, like, clearly there's some hotel bar in Cairo that they should be just like hiding out in and being like, we'll let humanity fend for itself instead of going into that tomb and reaching down that corpse's throat?
I think I kind of just pretty much said all I had to say about the episode. Like, I thought they should have called the episode, like, titled it "Oh Hell No," because just like everything that happened, I was just like, hell no. But I will say I like Ethan Hawke immensely better as an imaginary psychiatrist.
I loved his mustache, and I started thinking about, like, I could probably grow that, right? How long would it take? I was really fixated on it, in all honesty.
A year.
I'd have that mustache by next week, and I'll show you. I think that I liked that he was playing, Harrow so different, and this like, no, don't hurt him. I thought that I really liked how different the portrayal was at that point. So
it reminded me of a movie that he did, which is my favorite time travel movie ever. So if anyone wants to watch a time travel movie,
Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh shoot, there is that one.
Okay,
too.
so the one you're about to case number
second
two.
favorite.
Yeah, second favorite. Yeah.
Predestination, starring Ethan Hawke. Predestination. It reminded me of of the kind of smoothness of how he spoke and how in control he was. Reminded me of Predestination. So,
well,
nice.
Make sure that you in the audience make us your destination next week for our new episode. But before we go, Daniel Drew pointed this out in the chat, and Kate wanted to make sure that I saw it. Natalie Portman did post this on her Instagram, and I'm like, I didn't even know Natalie Portman was on Instagram. But she has an alternate version, a new version of the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, where you see Jane Foster holding Mjolnir right there on top of the mountain. So brings us full circle back to the beginning of the episode. So I don't know where it's going, and we'll see. But I don't know how I feel about the whatever this sequence in the insane asylum plays out to be. It felt very familiar. It felt like Legion, and I would like to see more of it. I like that there was as Jeff noticed, there was clearly the third one trying to get out of that. Of that, what is that? Is that a sarcophagus? Yeah. And we don't actually get to see it. So I'll be interested to see it. And the dogs.
Eric's dog's home.
The Baja men are there in the back room like every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
God,
Eric Connor. Eric Connor is who did. In any case, I know that Eric has to go inform the youth of the future filmmakers, the next generation. So, Eric, where can people keep in touch with you and your many toys in that room?
Well, you can see us at Count Eric Connor over on Twitter and Instagram. And I wish all of you a fabulous week.
I love how it covered like perfectly where your mouth was, and like the beard.
I might not have said. Yeah, I might not have said that at all.
Most likely
that might have been pre-recorded.
You did not. All right. Well, thank you, Eric, and we will see Eric next week. He's got that heart out at 12 o'clock, but we're saying goodbye anyway. Squirrel Kate, where can people find you, and what content are you looking to post soon?
I still have to do my Batman video because I didn't.
You should team up. You should team up with Michael.
I'm gonna team up with Michael Shirley.
We're gonna watch your video, Kate. It's like movies like on TV now.
No, but that's more people are likely to be like, oh, I've finally seen this movie now. I can see a lot of people who are like, I don't want to. I think that the runtime of that movie was more of a detractor than COVID was. You know, they were just like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to sit there. I want to be able to pause it, go get snacks. How many times did you stop the movie, Michael, while you watched it?
Twice, so it took like 3 sittings. There was I started it one night, and
that's much better. That's much better than Eternals, which was like 6 sittings for you, right?
Yeah. But at the last third of the Batman, I was like, I'm gonna get in my bed for this. Tired of sitting there.
Well, I didn't feel the way you did about the movie, but I love how strongly you did. I love when you feel strongly about it. Look, I liked Eternals too, so clearly I don't know anything. You know that. You don't have to be surprised. I told you that already. So Kate, the Batman video.
I've got a few coming up on Witcher because the new game was announced, Witcher 4, which is not called Witcher 4. And a few others that are percolating. I'm packing at the moment, so I'm trying to.
Because you're gonna move in with our pal Happy Cappy found a new place. Yeah.
So I'm in the midst of packing. So thanks for the patience, fam.
And the echo that I never heard the whole show, but that's okay. In any case, thank you, Kate. Yeah, at Cornell Bolt. Jeff Williams Jr. Where do people find you?
At Jeff Williams Jr. Not just Jeff Williams Jr. You know, on our social media platforms. If you want to continue conversations, look at real estate, or just talk about superheroes. I'm
get Coachella tickets.
Or get Coachella tickets. I need to sell my weekend 2 tickets.
Did you sell your week 1 Coachella tickets? Did you find a taker? Okay.
I did.
The weekend 2 is what you're looking for.
Did you lose money, or did you get like a fair?
No, price? I lost money. I'm losing. Okay. I'm going to be losing more money this week. But you know, I thought a year ago, Coachella would be a great investment, and then they were like, Kanye's going to be in it, and everybody was like, I don't like Kanye, and then Kanye was like, I'm not even going to be in it, and then they were like, oh, even more people hated it. So you know, my investment just went to crap. But you know, we're here.
Yeah, well, that's don't buy Kanye futures, I think is what you're saying as an investment. True. Now maybe buy future futures, that might be better. But all my money's going in Drake. So what do I know?
True. That's a good safe bet.
Kame Egan says, I still need to watch the Batman. I think I'll have to watch tonight after my condo board meeting. Michael, if you could watch Batman again or Kame Egan's condo board meeting, which one would you watch?
Where's she live?
Exactly.
No, just like a stream of it, you know, like she lives in the Chicagoland area. Yeah.
Oh, Chicago. I'll watch her board meeting.
Yeah, because there'll be some stuff.
You might see some characters.
You absolutely might. And Michael, where can people find you and your Instagram stories from watching Batman?
Yeah, it's only gonna be up for a couple more hours, you guys.
Gotta watch
you can find me at I Hate Michael Shirley on Instagram and Michael X Shirley on Twitter.
And you can, as always, find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. And as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow at 1 Pacific, I think it's the penultimate episode of the Star Trek Picard After Show, which can't come soon enough. Thank you, Jesus, that it's almost over. I just if
Did
you're
Whoopi
watching
Goldberg not
She was there. She was there. She was there at some point. Yeah. No, you're gonna have to catch up on the show. I don't mean you. Anybody wants to know what I think? First of all, I tweet about it a lot because I can't believe I found myself in this dysfunctional relationship.
You were really excited about that show when it first.
Sure, I was. Yeah,
talking about it coming out.
But I'm such a sucker. I'm excited for season 3, even though season 2 is bad. But you can find that tomorrow.
Season 1 was bad.
Oh yeah, I know. I thought that nothing could be worse than season 1, but I was sadly mistaken.
Just watch Lower Decks, bro. Lower Decks is where it's at.
I can't. It's I've already seen funny Star Trek, and it's called The Orville, and it was okay, but well, I'll get to it. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. And we will see you next time. As the great Stan Lee would say and did say, Excelsior!